Delve into art, architecture, and design with Srijan Design Academy SDA and thrive in exams, college, and career. Welcome to SDA. Figure-based aptitude. Topic 19. Adjacent and opposite figures. Relevant for exams like NATA, JEE P2, NID, CEED and UCEED.
Hello everyone. Our topic for today is adjacent and opposite figures. Now this topic is also called dice problems. What happens in these problems? That you are given a dice situation and you need to identify what will be a possible opposite or adjacent surface to a particular surface. So how to identify this? For example, we have this figure and then we can understand we are given A and B position. Similarly, we are given A and B position here. So in this case, what will happen? In one case, you will get a C position and in one case, you will get a D position. Now, once you have that, we can understand that, okay, because you have A on the top and let's consider a B situation somewhere. So B is here. Now, where is D? D is in clockwise direction to B. So D will be here. And where is C? It is anti-clockwise. So C will be here. So therefore, what is our understanding from here? Our clear understanding is this, that the surface D is opposite to surface C. So whenever you have a situation when two figures are given in a dice situation, that means the remaining third surface, okay, are opposite to each other. Similarly, what will happen here at the bottom? So in this case, let's consider we are given a figure A and A, which are two similar figures. Now, let's say we get a situation where the other set of figures are something like B and C. Then we have D and E. Okay. Now, because A is already there on the top, and for the other figures, let me position B and C. So if I position B and C here, what happens to D and E? E is anti-clockwise to D. So if I position D here and I find an anti-clockwise position, I get E. So therefore, it is very much clear that this is the only possible solution while placing the dice. So what do we get? We get a very simple understanding from here. In such a situation, if B is here, then the one which is facing the similar face will be opposite. So B is opposite to D. And similarly, C is here and E is here on the same faces. Therefore, C is opposite to E. Okay. So from here, we got a conclusion that B is opposite to D, C is opposite to E, and A is opposite to some figure which is non-existing, and that will be F. From here, we get only one conclusion, that C is opposite to D. A and B are opposite to something that we don't know. So these are the only concept you have to use in the dice problems or adjacent and opposite figure problem, and it will resolve all of your questions. So let's move to the question and see what happens. We need to find something opposite to the triangle. Okay. So what will happen in this case? Opposite to the triangle. What we have learned, that if we have figure A and B, if we have figure A and B, then C and D are opposite to each other. So this is our correct answer. Okay. Let's move to the next question. What is opposite to this diamond shape? Okay. So we need to figure out something opposite to the diamond shape. Let's see what is happening in the question. We're getting a figure A. We're getting a figure A here as well. Now, once we have figure A with us, there are two common figures. Other than that, this is B and this is also B, which is the same figure. So now what happens? C is opposite to D. So that we have established. Now in this case, our conclusion was A is opposite to a question mark and B is opposite to a question mark. So A and B, the answer will be a figure which is not there in the dice so far. So the square is also there, so this is not the correct answer. The circle is also there, so therefore this is not the correct answer. The triangle is also there, therefore this is not the correct answer. So the correct answer will be a figure which is not there. This is very important in these questions. You have to understand that a question mark will be a figure which is not present in the dice problem. So therefore C is the correct answer in this case. Let's move to the next question now. Something opposite to cross. Okay, so let's understand the problem again. This is A, this is also A. Is there anything else common? No. So therefore this becomes B, this becomes C, this is D, and this is E. Okay, cross is A figure. So something opposite to A was a question mark or F, because B is opposite to D and C is opposite to E. So find a figure which is not there in the dices. So the only figure which is not there is option C. Therefore, option C is the correct one in this case. Let's move to the next question now. Something opposite to the square. Now what will happen? So first of all, identify what is common. So this is A. This is also A. So that looks fine. There is no other figure common. We need to find something opposite to this one. So this we call B, C, D and E. And by default we know C is opposite to E. Okay, because we have learned earlier that A in this case is opposite to a question mark, B opposite to D. Therefore, C is opposite to E. So this diamond shape, B is the correct answer in this case. Let's move to the next question. Now earlier we had only 2 dices, now we'll have 3 dices. But the problem is not complicated. Problem will still remain the simple as it was earlier. The only thing is you need to identify which 2 dices you need to choose in order to answer the question. Okay. So here is the problem. We need to find something opposite to square again. Okay. So what kind of a figure we choose? So instead of choosing figure A and figure B, okay, because it has 2 figures common, I'll choose figure B and C because it has only 1 figure common. Why? This will give me an added advantage. Here, because I have only A and A common, one thing is clear, that B is opposite to D and C is opposite to E. So therefore, all these 4 figures are not the answer. The answer is something which is not there. So what's not there? Cross is your figure B, circle is your figure C, and triangle is not there. Also, plus is also not there. So therefore, in this case, we will get 2 correct answers. Okay. Now this kind of a question can also be multiple select type. In some examination, you find the dice problems as multiple select, and you will also find some other problems like image rotation as multiple select. So now we have 2 correct answers with us, because in this question it is pretty much clear to us something opposite to A is unknown. Something opposite to A is unknown. So all the figures which are unknown here will be the correct answers. Let's move to the next question now. Okay, something opposite to the circle. Choose the right figures now. So circle is here, but there is nothing common with the circle. So we need to find another figure which is common. Okay, so I can call this figure A. This is also triangle, and this is also triangle. This is also a diamond shape, which is B, and this is also a diamond shape, which is B. So therefore, this becomes your C and this becomes your D. Now I told you in the problem, when you have A and B, okay, that means figure C is opposite to figure D by default. So therefore, the final answer will be semicircle. Okay, what I'm doing in all these problems is I am identifying the correct dices which I need to pick. I have just left the first dice completely because I know this plays no important role in identifying what is the correct answer. Okay, though I can also choose first dice and the second dice given this figure is common, and then I can identify if something is opposite to something, and therefore it will lead to a conclusion. But I don't want that. What I want, I need to pick the right set of dices and get the answer quickly. And there are only 2 concepts. Either there are 2 common figures or there is only 1 common figure. Okay, so those are the 2 choices you need to pick. Let's move to the next question now. Okay, what will happen here? Something opposite to the cross. Okay, so now in this case, what will happen? We are getting A and we are getting A. So A is clear to us. But what will happen to these 2 figures? So if I call this B and call this C, if I call this D and call this E, that is clear to me. But how do I identify what is the position of B and C? So one thing is I can rotate this figure and take A to the top. When I take A to the top, I have pretty much clear understanding that this figure will look something like this. That A is on the top and B is here and C is here. Okay, because I can easily rotate it and therefore I can compare. But that is not a correct strategy all the time, because it may happen that your rotation does not fit in with someone else's rotation. So you need to be 100% sure that whatever the question you are doing it correctly. Okay, therefore what we will do here, we need to apply a strategy where figure 1 is related to figure 2 and therefore figure 2 is related to figure 3, and that's why we have the answer with us. So what now we'll do something similar thing. So this we have got so far. That is correct. Let me figure out where is figure E. Figure E is here as well. Figure D is here as well. So when I have figured out figure D and E, so D and E are here. So when two figures are common, third figure by default is the opposite. Okay, and this is your figure F, and this is your figure A, which is asked in the question. So therefore we have identified the answer, that is C, the circle. Okay, but what we did, instead of rotating this dice, we choose to go by the logic, because the conceptual logic that we have learned is the primary thing. So therefore we identify what is happening in the first dice, we place D and D in the correct position, and once we have D and D, we know by default figure A and F will be opposite because two figures are common. Let's move to the next question now. Okay, what is opposite to a square? Again, we'll do the similar exercise. We'll find out everything so that it becomes easier for us. So let me mark the square as A everywhere. Let me mark the triangle as B. Let me mark the semicircle as C. So, okay, we have identified. Let me mark this one as D, therefore E, therefore F. And therefore this figure here becomes a E figure. Now what we need to identify? We need to identify something opposite to A. Okay, let's see what is common everywhere. So if I look at here, A and B are common, A and B are common. So therefore C is opposite to E. Okay, in these two figures, E and E are common. So therefore D and F will be opposite to each other. Okay, that we have identified. Now, because in the last option, we have a possibility to correctly identify what is possible. In this case, we don't have an option to correctly identify what is possible. So therefore, we need to go with the final choice, and that is this one. Okay, we place E on the top, and when we place E on the top, we need to understand that this is in the clockwise direction. So D will be placed here and F will be placed here. What is happening in this figure? If I understand, E is on the top, B is over here, and A is over here. So therefore, D is opposite to A. Okay, and which one is figure D? This one is figure D. So therefore, this figure A, okay, is opposite to the square. Clear? We need to understand it from the clockwise, anti-clockwise perspective, because that is the easier perspective we can always take. And the same surfaces are opposite to each other in different cubes. So therefore, this is our final answer in this case. Now, I have the last question for you all. You need to solve this question. Answer in the comments. I'll provide the answer in the next week. In all the dice problems or adjacent and opposite figures, what you need to do is identify two right set of cubes, two right set of dices, which will provide you the correct answer. And you need to apply the basic concepts that if two figures are common, third surfaces will be opposite to each other. If only one surface is common, then A will be opposite to something unknown, B will be opposite to D, and C will be opposite to E. That's the only concept in these questions. Thank you everyone. Remain connected with us.
To buy our detailed study material online, WhatsApp us on 70420646648 or ping us on Instagram. For more questions, drop a comment on our video. Subscribe us to Thrive in Exams, College, and Career.